Today's conversation is with Jeff Duer. Jeff is a firefighter, paramedic in Maryland. I'd like to welcome you to the Burnout Podcast. I am your host, Skip O. The episode is brought to you by Bridges of Hope of Madison County and mypodcast.media. Real quick, I'd like to talk about a couple of our sponsors. The first one, as I said before, is Bridges of Hope of Madison County. It's located in Anderson, Indiana, and it has a program there for first responders. It's called the Warrior's Pathway to Recovery. That's a great program. I am so fortunate for me personally to be involved in that. I tell you what, the place is like family. It's family oriented. They really get involved. They do EMDR. They do all kinds of different therapies. They're very open for me and other volunteers, first responders, to go in there and taking the clients to a campfire meeting or to another first responder meeting in central Indiana. Also to go in there and do one-on-one peer support. I would send my own kids there if they were first responders. I know if I had an opportunity, and if it was a different situation, that would be a place that I would go personally. The website is B as in boy, hoperehab.com. That's bhoperehab.com. The phone number you can reach them at 24/7 is 833-411-0864. That's 833-411-0864. Okay, for our next sponsor, he's the founder of mypodcast.media. And he's also a friend of mine. His name is Sean Neal. Sean, he does inspiring podcasts. That's what his business does. It's got a way of telling a story that resonates with the audience. The ability to deliver impact results too. Just with our year that I've been with Sean, with this mission, it's been awesome. Burnout Podcast wouldn't be like it is today if it wasn't for Sean. It's been an amazing journey. If you want to get a hold of Sean, you can go to mypodcast.media and check him out there on his website. Feel free to give him a call. He's more glad to help you out. If you're a new person, want to start a podcast or your business, he does work with, here in Indiana, he works with Marion County Public Health Department. They do a podcast on that, and you can go on there and listen to that. Now, let me give you a little background about our next guest before we get started. Jeff started in the fire service as a cadet at the age of 13 while living in Ohio. Since moving to Maryland, he's been an active firefighter paramedic for over 40 years. On the side, Jeff's a professional disc jockey that specializes in weddings and calls his DJing business the getaway job. Tell the people out there that don't know you like I do, tell them a little bit about yourself and just let them know where your background is leading up to what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah, I guess I got into the fire service when I was a young age as a junior firefighter, 13, volunteer place in Ohio, and been doing firefighting paramedic ever since till August of 2020. That's when I came down with the injury. But prior to that, and doing this stuff for as long as I did, 2017 in October, the very last part of October, I had a complete downfall. I didn't know what was going on. I knew something was horribly wrong, and I didn't know what it was, and I couldn't tell my wife about it because, here I am, super medic. I didn't know what was going on, so I had to explain that. What happened is I moved from Waldorf down to Newburgh, which is about 20 miles south. And I was busy all the time, busy. Came down here, and I wasn't running calls up to volunteer house because it's 20 miles away. Can't be an effective leader 20 miles away from an incident. So now I had this time I never had before. And I think that's what got me. And the holidays were coming up, and the anniversary of my parents' death and stuff. Well, actually, I bought this house in 2017 between the death of my father and the death of my mom. It was December 7th when I bought this house. My dad had just passed. My mom would pass away the 18th of December. So I think the following years when everything just kind of found this opportunity to open that Pandora's box and let all the shit out, to where everything in the past years, following my daughter's death, the dog's death, my parents' death, that all happened within a short period of time, like within a 2-year span, and the time with the fire service, so on and so forth, as paramedic and whatnot, just kind of all fell into me at one time, and I didn't know how to deal with it, and I didn't know what it was. I really don't really know what happened that night. I wasn't drinking. I don't do drugs. It's just this kind of a blur. But as I referred to it, I found out at that point in time that rock bottom has a basement, and it's very dark and cold.
What'd you do next?
I went outpatient for a little bit, and I think that's kind of what really, really helped tilt the scales. Was I realized I was in deeper shit than I'd realized, that I need to be more than outpatient, and then everything else just fall on top of me. I didn't have control. And through the union, I was able to get myself into the Center of Excellence in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. It's scary as shit. I'm not gonna lie, it's scary as shit. You know, would I do it again? Absolutely. But I mean, now I say that now, but that going into unknown territory and uncharted waters, and just throwing yourself out there for anybody is what they are, because you don't know them, is fucking terrifying. You're exposing yourself, and now it's, looking back at it now, it's great. But at that moment in time, man, I didn't say shit for like a day or two. And I went in there for 43 days of programming, as they call it, and found out the depression that I had and complex PTSD, along with that was anxiety, and didn't know how to grieve, which was something that we've found out later on, that when you don't know how to grieve, is us firefighters and police and military personnel, so on and so forth, we become real masters at suppressing our emotions. And you don't have to be taught how to do that. That just seemed to happen as a safeguard for yourself. At that point in time, I had to be that guy in control, and I was losing it.
What's the day look like to you when you went through your treatment, through the trauma therapy and through all that? Kind of give people just a little snippet of that day, each and every day, what you did there.
Every day is programming. It's not considered therapy. It's called programming. You start your day in the morning with breakfast at, I believe it was 7:30. And you start your first programming class around 8:30. Went through with breaks about an hour. Lunch was at 11:30. And then you're back at the programming by 1300. And you're done. I think 16:30 was when you were done for the day with that part. And that's when the other part of your program begins amongst the brothers and sisters that are there. We're able to be around the fire pit, or if you want to call it, the dorm that you're staying in. Each building has, I believe it was 8 beds. Each building and you had your own station that you were assigned to. And they're set up sort of like a firehouse, without the bells and whistles going off all hours of days and night. And you learn your brothers and sisters there, and that's when a lot of talking happens. Or you can take your downtime, do your books, do your diary. There's a gym there too. Dinner was at 1700, if I remember correctly. And you're racked out by 10 o'clock.
Okay, you come up to graduation, you're getting out of there, coming home. In that first week, what was going on with you?
Well, I was supposed to go back to work for 2 weeks. They want you to reacclimate yourself to society, per se, with the new box of tools that you've acquired as you're in the center. Those 2 weeks, well, for me, were kind of complicated. I came home and my wife had left. Half the house was empty, but she left me everything I needed to take care of myself with and live on. So, there's that. So it's complicated with everything I just learned the past 43 days for the PTSD and depression. And now here I am, solo. And I mean solo as a single, and solo in life too. But it was really kind of weird, because it's almost like it automatically kicked in the tools that I had learned. And first and foremost, I had to ground myself, and in a new way, new fashion. And the holidays, I came home December 21st, and of course, the holidays are right there. So going through that was difficult, but I had developed a support program through the center with people at the center, And I was able to reach out, and that's how I met you, as a matter of fact, through these situations, and use the support group to my advantage, because that's what it's there for. It's helped me get out of my dark hole, my dark, deepest moments. And that's exactly what it did.
Well, Jeff, thank you very much for sharing those experiences with us. I know sometimes it's hard to do, but we got a moment now we like to share with the audience too. And Melissa from Georgia, she's a firefighter there in Georgia, is going to share our mental health moment. Melissa, let's go to you.
Hey guys, my name is Melissa, and I'll be bringing you the mental health tip for today. And today's tip is finding avenues outside of work that bring about your best creativity or bring you peace and tranquility. So oftentimes we get stuck in our routine at work and at home, and sometimes we don't even notice what we're doing or how it's affecting those around us. And sometimes that can be not the best thing. And so I would encourage you this month to try something new. That might be Pilates. That might be jazzercise. It might be buying an instrument like a guitar and teaching yourself that, or starting lessons. It could also be something like making coffee at home as a pour over versus using your Keurig, or going to Starbucks and having someone else make it for you. Find something that's a little different, expand your routine, or change it up a little bit, and see how it impacts those around you, including your family and your coworkers at work. Maybe it's something you need. All right, Skip, back to you.
Thank you, Melissa, for that mental health moment. And I'd like to thank you, Jeff, again, for sharing that dark stuff. I know sometimes it's hard to do, to put yourself out there, to be vulnerable, especially for us being first responders. I can relate with you in that area. But what I found out for myself, and what you know now, is that being vulnerable and sharing our experiences where we think it's bad or good will benefit other people. It will help them get out of that hole, and so they can have a happy, joyous, and free life. So for segment 2, we're going to get into that good stuff. Now we're going to talk about how we keep doing it, how we help others on the Burnout Podcast Support Zoom meeting that we're doing. And it started New Year's Eve on Sunday. And Jeff is going to be our lead facilitator for that. And we're going to do different things on there. And I'll let Jeff go into that, what he's going to do. So Jeff, why don't you tell the people about what we're going to do every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern?
We're going to meet up on Zoom. And we'll probably can limit to like about an hour, but I want to have a round the room session.
Zoom?
Man,
that's boring.
Well, we're gonna talk about whatever you want to talk about, and it should be, the confidentiality should be taken for granted right there and then. That what we talk about in that room stays within that room. And if you're not comfortable with that, we could do breakout sessions in the different rooms, or we could even talk offline by way of cell phone, so on and so forth too. So it's going to be geared to help you, the individual who may be going through the stuff that Skip and I have gone through before, or other people that have gone before, to help you reach your goals through your mental health.
Now, we talked a little bit about our prior guests on the podcast coming on, doing a little Q&A.
Absolutely. And many of you are familiar with burnoutpodcast.org. If not, I would recommend you go up there. You listen to the previous podcast. There's about 52 of them up there that have been done over the past year plus. And so you get an idea of what that format is. If you want to use that format, we could do that too. Some of the topics that we have in there, we're going to revisit those guest speakers and have them come into these Zoom meetings so we could toss ideas, questions, and thoughts around the room.
You also, I think, had an idea earlier, get different peer supports come doing the sharing sessions, like if they want to, come in there to say what one department, whether you're fire, police, military, just kind of coming together, see the different avenues people attack the problem, and that's mental health.
Yeah, absolutely. Our depression that we involve with as first responders and the PTSD stuff doesn't care what agency you're with. It doesn't care. The bottom line is you're going through problems that you may not be familiar with, or you may have questions about, or struggling through. And we want to offer an avenue, an opportunity, a way out for you to get this stuff taken care of without having to jump through hoops and without having to try to reach that extra mile to try to get help. We want you to understand that we're here for you 24 hours, 7 days a week. And by having these weekly sessions, if you want to wait that long, that's fine. If not, there's ways of contacting people in the meantime. But with these weekly sessions, maybe they'll help you out. Maybe they'll help somebody else out. And that's what the main objective here is, getting to these people who don't know the resources that we're familiar with that we can offer them too.
Now, who are we looking to come on? Can anybody come on? Do we stop people from coming on, or is it geared
No,
toward first responders?
it's basically geared toward first responders. And the reason being is we all share the same there. We've all seen what we've seen on the streets. We all can relate to sights, sounds, and smells. And, I'm not discrediting any Joe Blow citizen out there, but, we're in there neck deep and we know what it's like. And with the average citizen, we usually don't allow into our scenes of accidents, whether it be a crime scene, car accident, whatever it is. They see that from a far point or by way of an iPhone or Android, whatever it may be. So we've been there. We know what it's like. We've been on the front line. And I would like to try to keep it within that group of people who know exactly what it is.
Sure. And I think you told me earlier you're going to have some resources. So if somebody comes on, you'll have some resources that if they want to get help, whether it's an addiction, mental health, that they can call and help them. Is that true?
Absolutely. Absolutely. There's chat options on Zoom. You could chat me directly and I can provide you website links, phone numbers. You can even call me and I can get you in touch with the right people too. There really are no holds barred except for you making that call. That's what it boils down to.
Okay. Now, if they want to come on, if they want to get on that Zoom meeting, how do they do it? Where can they hit that one button to get on?
I would go to burnoutpodcast.org and search there. You'll find it. It's right on the front page. You'll see Skip's picture up there, and you scroll down, you see my picture up there, and we will have a Zoom link in there, easy for you to find. Simple click. It doesn't cost you anything except for time. And if that's what you're worried about, then we have more work to do than that. If you're worried about your time.
Right now, the location, if you go on your phone or on your PC, it's all the way at the bottom. Of course, my picture's bigger because I look better. And we made Jeff's littler because, you'll see why. You'll see why.
You are tempting me. You are so tempting me.
Bring it on, big boy. No, I tell you, I know what you were going to say. Yeah, we have fun. We have a good time on. This is pretty much what the Zoom meeting is going to be too. Go back and forth. It don't have to be gloom and doom all the time. We need to build people up. We need to see the light. Man, there's a lot of darkness out there. We know what the issue is. But Jeff, I just applaud you for doing this for us and being just on the team like we all are. And if you want to join the team, get a hold of this. Come on that Zoom meeting. Talk to Jeff. Very easy to talk to. And we got some other first responders numbers you can call too if you need some possibly in your area. We also partner with Worldwide Peer Support. They got Zoom meetings too on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Sundays at 8 p.m. Eastern. But Jeff, I think 6 o'clock on Sundays is a perfect time. You just get done eating, you can roll right into it, and then you can drift off to sleep after your podcast.
Now, if you're worried about the Super Bowl.
Or Zoom meeting.
Kickoff on the Super Bowl is 6:29. So you've got 29 minutes to get on the Zoom thing and get what you need to get off your chest Super Bowl Sunday. So don't worry about that. And we're
That's 4 weeks from now, isn't it?
I'm not really sure. I'm not 100% sure. But I do want to emphasize, and without running, beating this horse, the post rather, is that don't think for one moment that you are alone on this. You're not. Skip and I and a multitude of other people which you eventually will meet. We've all experienced this. There is no waving a magic wand and making you better. It takes a lot of work, and you have to start with you. And without starting with yourself, you're not going to get anywhere but that dark area you've been at. So we can provide these resources, and we can even make you laugh if you want.
Well, I tell you what, if we have our producer on, if you just look at him, you'll laugh. He is funny looking guy.
He is comical. He is.
Oh my gosh, he's funny. No.
Yeah. I got to hand it to him. He is definitely the comic relief. Before we go on live here, like we are now, recording rather, he gets me all fired up. I mean, we've been doing this for over a year now.
Hey,
and
just a little bit. Yeah. Well, we appreciate everybody that's listening right now, and just remember, man, there's a flip side to that coin. There's a dark on one side and light on the other. Tune in on the Zoom.
He never quits.
What our producer do is flashes stuff on the screen so we can see it, and it kind of looks like a self-portrait of him.
I'm not repeating what I just saw. I don't know if the terms of service a violation here or not, but I'm
Okay, JF, give me the location where they could get onto the Zoom meeting, the time, and the day.
Go to burnt, that's the past tense, burnt-out-podcast.org. And you'll scroll down there. You'll see the Zoom link attached to your computer to the Zoom link. It doesn't cost you anything. It's set up for us for you. And click on at 1800 Eastern Time. We do offer this internationally too, so that's why I said Eastern Time. It's 1800 Eastern Time.
Okay, cool. That's this Sunday. He'll be on there, and you guys can come on there. I'm going to be on there just to sit back and watch and enjoy, and I just appreciate everybody listening to us. And
I don't want anybody to be nervous. We've all had this talks around a day room at the firehouse. It's going to be something like that, except for the jawing and the carrying on and the name calling. We probably won't do that. But it's just going to be relaxed atmosphere.
We're not going to do what?
Yeah. We're not going to be calling people names and jawing like we do at the day room.
Even if the police law enforcement comes on, we can't make fun of them?
Well, we know where they're going to be parked.
Because we're firefighters, and that's what
Right.
we do. And military is kind of the buffer in between, I think. We can always play around.
Depending on what branch you're in, I'm not saying anything.
Okay.
But the good thing, if the police are in the day room, you know where their car's parked. It's by the closest hydrant or definitely in the alpha side. So we know where they're parked at. You want to keep them quiet, just throw them that box of 12, a dozen donuts at a Dunkin' Donuts, and they'll be happy.
All right. Bring it on.
It's a funny jab. You know it's all about
We
that.
just might stir it up a little bit to get people to come on.
I have a great wooden spoon just for that.
I tell you, I got two brothers that are police officers, and one of my brothers was in the military, and we have a good time. We're a big family. We always like to say we're on the same highway. We're in different lanes at times, but we speak the same language. When it
Absolutely.
comes to mental health. So just remember, tune in this Sunday and listen to Just Jeff.
That's me.
And we'll have a good time. But for now, I'd like to see everybody go home tonight. Shut your phones off, shut your scanners off, and get some sleep. Thank you.